Hi everyone, my name is Efia Bayai and I am a homeschooler. Ready? Go! I wanted to put together this video for the many of you that have found yourselves in the position of homeschooling because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I thought it would be helpful to give you some tips, and the inspiration for doing so came from just really my friends. I've been homeschooling my children for the past 7 years. My eldest boy is 7, my middle son is 5, and then my daughter is 3 years old. I was a teacher for 8 years prior to me running my business full time. Having to work from home as well as homeschool, that adds a completely different dynamic to the experience of homeschooling. If you happen to want to share this video with other people that you know, please feel free to do so. So here I am under lockdown, all dressed up with nowhere to go, essentially to put together this video just for you guys, and I really hope that it helps. I'm a living example that it can be done. It's not easy, but hopefully, you know, with us sharing top tip number 1, structure and routine. Now, I do have to say that there are many parents out there, homeschooling parents, who don't believe in having a routine. They believe that every day go with the flow and be led by the child. You know, the rigidity of a structure or routine can be stifling. So just enjoy your children. If that means on one day you go for a walk in the woods, and another day you do arts and crafts, and the third day you just have a lie-in and you just enjoy movies together, then so be it. And I actually do think there is a place for that. However, when you are working from home, I do think that it is important to have a structure in place in order to stay sane. Routine is something that children thrive from. I really do appreciate the value of having a timetable, a structure, a routine in place. And I actually draw up a timetable. And our timetable has been modified somewhat because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So all of their classes outside of the home, all of their sports activities have been cancelled. So I've had to modify the timetable. I've had to adjust, as we all have. It just helps me in terms of thinking ahead, being practical, being organized, and staying sane. First of all, me time. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and between 6 and 8, it's me time. So that's my time to have a shower, undisturbed. I'm a Christian, so I start the day in prayer and reading my Bible. That gives me the peace of God that I need to navigate through the day. And then I might do some last minute bits of housework that I wasn't able to achieve the evening before. For example, washing the dishes. I do like to start my day with a clean sink. My children then are up by 8. Their body clock has kind of just got them used to that time. And if they don't wake up, I wake them up. And between 8 and 9, they do their bed, they tidy their room, they brush their teeth, change into their house clothes, and have breakfast. I do think it's important for my children to change into something other than their pajamas, because I feel like it improves their attitude. It causes them to just have a bit more of a focused mindset. Then once they've had breakfast at 9, between 9 till 11 is when they actually do learning, me sitting down with them. Please don't think that you have to be teaching your children from 9 till 3. If you think about their day at school, a lot of time is taken up, playtime, commuting between class if they're at secondary school, assembly time, and even in the classroom, if you think about the fact that the teacher has to engage 25 plus students, I think 2 hours works well. You might want to gauge it depending on the ages of your children. On a Monday and Tuesday, we focus on English. On a Wednesday and Thursday, we focus on math. And on a Friday, what we're doing now is languages, because they did used to do their languages in classes outside of the home, but those classes have stopped, and I don't want them to forget. In terms of English or maths or languages, within those 2 hours, the activities and the work that they do will be varied. I won't, get them stuck on one thing for too long. I kind of like to switch it up. just to keep things interesting. And I'm going to provide links for various websites that I use for resources and for materials for them to watch. And I hope that you find that helpful. From 11 till 12, that's when they typically then do computer-based work. That's new since the COVID-19 pandemic. Usually what we do is we would go to a class or, you know, have one of our sports activities, but I'm leaving that hour for them to do a computer-based activity. And on a Monday it relates to English, and the same with a Tuesday. On a Wednesday and a Thursday it relates to maths, and on a Friday it relates to languages. After lunch, my children then do music practice. All of them learn an instrument, and you know, we have instruments at home, and then they do the boys do the Lego challenge, and I'm going to provide the link for that as well. I saw it being circulated in one of the WhatsApp groups I belong to, and I thought it was brilliant. My boys have so much Lego, so I thought, yeah, every day they can do the Lego challenge. I then do some reading with the children, and I release them into the wild. I let them go into the garden to get some fresh air, some sunlight, some vitamin D from the sun, and I allow them to play in the garden. Let them dig up the soil, you know, and get themselves dirty doing that. They could plant some seeds and climb trees. And if you don't have a garden, there may well be a part whereby you can get them to expend all their energy there. I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get me. But I do think it's important that every day they do get some fresh air and they do go outside. And that is an opportunity for you to do some work if you do have a garden. The other opportunity that you have to do some work is when they're having lunch. But prior to having lunch, they'll probably do some exercise with PE with Joe, but I'm going to include his link as well. That's been brilliant. It does wonders for them physically as well as mentally. It's brilliant. I can get them to be doing that whilst I'm preparing their lunch. Their lunch would more than likely be leftovers from the dinner the night before, just to give myself less work. And if not, if there isn't enough food for that, a simple sandwich and some fruits on the side with a glass of water. Nice and easy. You may decide that you want them to do PE with Joe first thing in the morning. I prefer them learning first thing in the morning because I know that's when they're focused. They're then allowed to play freely with their toys and what have you. And I do make it clear to them that mummy needs her space now. Okay? Mummy needs her space to do what she needs to do. Please don't disturb me. I've got work to do. By that point, my husband would have been home, and he then helps out with dinner as well. They're in bed by 8 so that I have at least an hour or two more where I can do housework and some more work to do with the business. On a Saturday, it's slightly different. What I do is I dedicate Saturday for us to do board games, to do a practical activity, whether it's with paint or arts and craft, toilet roll that you've been hoarding for the quarantine. Use the cardboard core and get them to do an activity with it. One of my colleagues in the wedding industry has a cake company called Just Like Mummies, and she has put together some really fantastic videos for parents on quick and easy baking ideas that you can do with your children during the COVID-19 quarantine. I'd highly recommend checking that out. I'm going to provide the link for that as well. But you know, Saturday is the day for us to do the practical activities, and any kind of pending housework that hasn't been achieved during the week, I get them involved. Even when it comes to things like cooking, every opportunity is an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to bond. And you know, I guess what I really want to stress is that this is a fantastic season whereby you can really get to know your children, spend valuable quality time with them, and it's most productive when there is a routine and a structure in place. So I do hope that helps. I do have a few more tips for you, but that was top tip number 1, structure and routine.
So that was my wife. Hit the like button, hit the subscriber button, hit your children, hit your husband really hard in the back of his head. And make sure you hit the notification button so you're alerted when we upload more videos. Support my wife so I can live a normal life, please. Please.